UFC Fight Night Roundtree versus Hill has just wrapped up. I'm coming off a fucking live stream, watching the card. It's like 6 something a.m. here. I've had like 3 hours sleep. Let's get into it. We had Muhammad Usman versus Hamdi Abdullah. I didn't get to catch the first 2 rounds. I ended up catching the third round because I just woke up in time. But yeah, Hamdi looked awful. Muhammad Usman just sort of jabbed him up, hurt him, and he wins. Then we had Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Maxam. Tagir Ulanbekov clearly won this fight. I've seen a bunch of people calling it a robbery. I don't understand it. Firstly, Tagir Ulanbekov just clearly outstruck him for 3 rounds. Landed the more damaging shot. Clearly rocked him in the third round. I don't know how there are people who thought this was a robbery. Tagir Ulanbekov clearly won. They clearly beat Azat Maxam. Maxam isn't bad. He had a good performance, but I think people are just riding too much into the takedown defense. He had good takedown defense, and Takir had no success with the grappling, but he had a lot of success on the feet. But people just see takedown defense like, oh, that means he's winning the fight. He didn't win. Then we had Claudia Segula versus Irina Alexeva. Alexeva really living up to the Russian Ronda name. She had no head movement at all in this fight. She got absolutely pieced up over and over again. Just awful, awful showing from her. And Claudia Segula, she looked good physically and she looked good in the fight. Yeah, good performance by her. She pieces her up and she gets a win. So, shout out to her. It's rare you ever see a very attractive woman like that get a win in the UFC. So, good job. Then we had Daria Zula Nunakova versus Melissa Mullins. This was a weird fight. Mullins just fought like she didn't want to win. She would only grapple after getting hurt and rocked. She clearly had the wrestling advantage. Why not wrestle? I never understand why fighters do this. It's literally your career. Your career is to win fights. Why are you not fighting the easiest fight possible to win the fight? Why are you making it so hard for yourself? But yeah, she loses. I thought Daria won, and she did win. Then we had the Iron Turtle, Young Park versus Ismail Nordiev. Young Park loses the first round. Second round, he's starting to break Ismail Nordiev, but Nordiev eventually illegally knees him very brutally, might I add. He had already poked him in the eyes 2 times by that point. He had beat him up. Uh, yeah, with eye pokes and kneed him in the head. I don't know why the fight continued. It should probably be the DQ. I don't even know if Park said that he was good to go, but the doc said he should be good to go, so he continued to fight. I think he was literally fighting blind for the rest of the fight, but he still won. The ref took 2 points, which was pretty fair because it was an outrageous illegal knee. Like it was very bad. Like it's a shock he wasn't knocked out cold. But yeah, Young Park gets the win. Good performance. Then we had Siak Huyan Kao Ko versus Obanelli. Now this was shocking to me. I really thought Obanelli would get this one done. Like Ko looked really good. He was every time Obanelli would initiate the clinch, he would judo toss him. He was piecing him up on the feet. He won every round. Obanelli didn't really have a significant moment in this fight, which is shocking. To be honest with you, I thought Ko was one of the worst signings from Dana White Contender Series, but here he is having a great performance. And I mean, welterweight's got a South Korean fighter. This is big for South Korea. They've got a new prospect. He looked really good, and I think I'll believe in him a little bit more moving forward, depending on who he fights. But yeah, I've seen people saying he's like a contender. I wouldn't jump that quickly. He looks good, but Oban Elliott was already a pretty flawed fighter. He's not like Oban Elliott's like an elite level fighter or anything by any means. Oban Elliott always has tough fights. He's never had a fight where he just runs through someone. Then we had Muhammad Naimov versus uh, Bogdan. Muhammad Naimov wins, but it was close. It was 29-28. Bogdan was having some success. He was wrestling. He was kneeing him. He did good. He did good shit. He did better than the odds would have made you believe. But Naimov clearly won. Hurt him badly in the first round with a spinning head kick, but Bogdan survives it. It was a good back and forth scrap. And Naimov gets the win over Bogdan. But Bogdan tough. He's tough, man. Then we had the fight of the year. potentially Nazim Sadikov as Nicholas Motta. I had been saying the whole time Nicholas Motta has a really good shot in this fight, and he showed it. He badly hurt Sadikov, hit him to the body, dropped him, was beating him up, but he punched himself out, gets beaten up in the rest of the first round. Second round gets knocked out. This was a crazy fight, back and forth. If you want, go watch my live reaction video. If you want to see me react to this fight, I was losing it. It was actually such a crazy fight, back and forth scrap. It was awesome. It was an awesome fight to watch. But Nazim Sadikov eventually puts him out cold. But Nicholas Motta, he's looked really good since training at Bangtao. Just want to put that out there. You know, he's on a good run. Showed that he can really hang with these guys. And maybe people will stop shitting on Tom Nolan for losing to Motta, because Motta is actually not that bad. But yeah. Uh, then we had Maitabak Orolbai versus Tafik Mazayev. This is just one-way traffic, not even competitive. It's a bit of a shame for Tavik Masayev. His debut is literally in his own country, and we don't really get to see much of him. It was a tough matchup, and Maitabak Orolbai missed weight by 10 pounds. You know, he made this a catch weight because he wasn't going to make he wasn't going to make lightweight. So you got to feel bad for Mazayev, because Maitabak Orolbai looks so much bigger. He looks massive. His back was huge. So I just feel bad for the circumstances of his debut, but Maitabak Orolbai looked really good, got a Kimura, and subbed him. Then we had Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev. I didn't think this was a robbery. I thought Kuniev won, but I don't think it was a robbery. It was a very close fight. Blades made this fight a lot harder, but his ACL apparently popped, so it does make a bit more sense why he was fighting so stupid. But he just had so many opportunities where he should have just boxed a bit more, kicked a bit more, but you know, he ended up getting the win. Could have arguably gone to Kuniev. I wouldn't have been mad if that happened, but he was outstriking Kuniev quite a lot in the third round, and he clearly won the first. But yeah, very much closer than I expected this fight to be. Then we had Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Fiziev, probably the best performance of his career, pieced up Ignacio Bahamondes, landed big shots, ragdolled him on the ground, got a 30-27. Great performance by Rafael Fiziev. I'd love to see him versus Dan Hooker next. Then with the main event, Khali Rountree versus Jamal Hill. Rountree just showed that he really is good, you know. I was never the big believer in Rountree, and I also got to factor in, I think Hill is maybe, you know, washed at this point just because he's taken so much damage, leg kicks. But it was also just a really good matchup for Rountree. You know, the leg kicks were always going to be big, and Hill never checks the leg kicks. It's, you know, he's had a lot of ACL tears, MCL tears, Achilles heel injuries. He's had so many injuries. He's slowed down. He's never even been the fastest guy before that. And the leg kicks were big. You know, I felt like I was doing a customer service job because, you know, instead of, you know, hello, thank you, come again, whatever it is, it was more, there's another big leg kick from Rountree. There's another big leg kick from Rountree. I said this about 30, 20 times. It's just so much times that I had to keep repeating it because he would just keep landing on. But he put on a great performance. I didn't think it would go to a 5-round decision. But sometimes unexpected stuff happens in MMA. But Khali Rountree gets the win. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. That's my thoughts on the event. I hope you guys like this video. I know I really rushed through this a little bit, but I'm so tired. I'm so tired. But yeah, I just want to factor in also Jamal Hill. Just, I don't know. He was putting on the pressure, but he never really let that second gear go. You know, like the second round was probably the only round that he did decent in, because it's all literally because Rountree slipped and he hit him. That was it. I seen someone give the second round to Jamal Hill on the broadcast. I don't know how though. I still think Rountree won every round. It's crazy that, you know, the guy would give it to Jamal Hill considering he got beat down, had his legs compromised in that round. I'm pretty sure. But, you know, whatever. It was a dominant performance. Rountree wins. Jamal Hill's now on a 3-fight losing streak. And he also, at the end of the fight, he put his hands up like he had won, which is so stupid. I hate when people do that. You clearly lost. Just take the loss. But anyway, it's like, what are you putting your hands up over? You want a robbery? Like, you'd be happy with that? But anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys thought on the card. Make sure you subscribe, put on notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.